Hi everybody. Well, I've got the engine out of the frame of the CB450 K5 1972. So I got it out as I thought I'd do it. I removed all of the bolts, and I lowered the bike right down. So I had taken off the front end and the rear wheel. So had the frame right down onto the ground. And then I just tipped it over carefully on its left hand side. Okay, so that's on the gear lever side of the engine, onto some I had some sort of this supporting mats here in tarpaulin, because there was a little bit of oil that still ran out of the engine. So then that was quite straightforward. So then the whole thing was lying on its side, and then I realized that the bolt that holds the foot pegs on is actually a through bolt. It goes all the way through from one side of the frame to the other, and actually runs through the engine as well. It's one of the bottom mounts. It is the bottom mount of the engine. So just remember that. I didn't notice that until I had the engine over on its side, and so then I had to remove that bolt. Wasn't too hard to draw that bolt out. Then the engine was completely free. It took a little bit of wiggling to lift the frame back off the engine, but because I'd lightened the frame right down to just this amount here, it was quite easy for me to handle on my own. The engine is a really tight fit in the frame. The top of the engine is almost touching this section here, which holds the coils in place, and the top mount here. So that part of the frame is very close. You're only talking about maybe hardly 10 millimeters of clearance there, to be honest, guys. But once I take in this bottom bolt out here, which goes through this hole here for the footrest, comes out that side there, it seemed to make it, well, I had to take that bolt out anyway, of course. It came off. It took me probably 5 minutes, just a little bit of wriggling and just sort of giving a little shake here and there. I didn't have to do any prying, and I don't think you want to be looking at any prying, because that's when you can damage something on the engine housing. It will come out. It just takes a little bit of maneuvering, and the frame just lifted off quite easily. So the frame is, there's no surprises on the frame. I'm quite happy with the frame. I'm going to get the frame all cleaned up and prepared for repainting. I'm still thinking about getting it blasted and then powder coated, do it all really nice. So I'm happy with the frame. Now the engine, here's the engine here, and this engine is heavy. So I'm going to set it on my trolley. I've got a flat trolley with 4 wheels, so I can maneuver it around. And I was wondering about whether I'd pull the engine down, and now I have decided to pull the engine right down. So I'll definitely take the all of the top end down, right down to the top of the crankcase housing here, and then I can have a really good look at the pistons and the bore, all the valve gear, and replace and repair anything that I feel is necessary. I'll more than likely redo the square clutch and drive chain there for the electric start. I'll go right into that very deeply, and once I've got all that part all completed, not reassembled, but all sort of to that stage so that I know what I'm up against, I'll split the crank case, which is fairly straightforward. All the bolts are over on this side. What I like about these early model Hondas is the crankcase comes apart from top and bottom, so it's a little bit easier to lay all of the gears and the transmission together before you button it up, compared to the ones which split down the middle, coming from side to side. So that's what I'm up against at the moment, everyone. enjoying it. I really am enjoying the project. Was going to take a bit longer to get to this stage, but couldn't help myself. New tube and rim tape there. New handlebars have arrived. Still got to put my new seals and get all that sorted out for the shocks, but at the moment I'm just going to concentrate on getting all this here apart so I can have a good look inside. So just on your own, it's something you can do on your own without actually getting anybody to help. Sometimes it isn't easy to get somebody to help you to lift things. When you let them know that you want them to come around to lift something, they might not be too keen. But it isn't too bad to do on your own, to be honest. It's fairly straightforward. Just got to take your time. Use a little bit of, just a little bit of thought before you try to lift it. When I get this onto my trolley, I'm just going to put it on one edge at a time and then just sort of shuffle it on. Still a little bit of oil weeping out, which is what you would expect. So that's why I've got the tarpaulin down here. I don't want to get oil on the carpet. Wouldn't be a good day for me. These are pretty interesting looking motor. I'm really fascinated by the top end. I'm looking forward to getting into that. I've done a lot of reading. I've seen a lot of videos on how the top end is constructed. It's an awesome system. Certainly compared to what I've worked with in the past of standard valve springs. So I'm looking forward to getting that stage open up so I can have a good look inside. I really don't think the engine's been apart. I mean, it must have surely in this time, but everything just looks, all of the flats on the bolts just look like they're just original still. But you can never be too sure. We'll soon find out once we get inside anyway. And I'm pretty sure though that the engine hasn't been out of the frame, which would mean this can't come out anyway. You can't take the top of the engine off without removing the whole engine from the frame. The way the bolts were laying in the frame, they just looked to me like they'd never been touched. So it's possible this bike has just been sitting for a long time. From what I gather, it's been sitting for about 15 years anyway, and it may well have been just lightly used before then. I've got no records of the mileage, unfortunately. I don't have any records really for the bike. I'm going to try to dig back to early ownership and see where the bike entered the country to get a bit more information on it. But that's a little bit further down the path at this stage. So thank you very much for those of you that have taken a little interest in this project. As I get further into it, I'll keep you updated. But not too much really to it, just a standard frame. You see plenty of pictures of these and the engine. I'm sure you've seen plenty of pictures of these now if you're following this particular bike. And I'm not expecting any difficulties taking it apart. I'll just take my time, bag everything, make sure that I don't lose any parts, and replace some of these. Certainly I'm going to place some of the fixtures on the casings. I don't like these screws. I'm going to go to Allen bolts, probably stainless. I just like those. They just fit a lot better, and there's less chance of them, digging out with your screwdriver. A little bit of anti-seize on them when I put them back in, when I redo all this. Of course, I'm going to wash it all down. I'll be washing it down with degreaser before I get started. So I hope whatever you're up to at the moment is going well for you. And that's a little update from me on the CB450 1972 K5 series. Thank you for viewing. Catch you a little later.